Hello, hello, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. We're right back in it, y'all. Right back in it. Okay. I am going to... Oh, look at this. Am I working on Jak and Daxter zine shit? Maybe. Maybe. Who can say? Who can say? I'm gonna drink some tea. I'm having a time. Okay. I swear to God, when we hit 300 pages, I have to have a little party. I have to be like, woo! And then just, you know. We're at 294 now. Which is pretty insane, if I do say so myself. Yourself in your new life. Everybody else in your new ways. Oh, I know. Okay. Trying to ignore all the Discord servers going off. Okay, let's lay down some boxes. Okay, I'm gonna try and make this, because there's a lot of dialogue on this page, I'm gonna try and make this as inconsequential as possible. Also, I'm realizing that my computer is actually being really, really slow, because I think my local disk is really fucking full. So let me go... My screenshots folder is actually not that full of shit, so I'd be willing to bet that it's actually... Let me empty recycle bin. It's actually all of the work from my students, all of the massive Photoshop files that I have to download every fucking week. That is clogging shit up, y'all. It's clogging it up. Let me just go and delete some of this shit. Get it out of there. 213 items. Oh my god, it can't even delete them. It's like, I don't even know what to do. I'm like, that's okay. You're doing the best that you can. Okay. Let me see what else we got. This was during that period in which I couldn't record any of my videos via Loom. So I had to download a bunch of them. That was kind of a nightmare, not gonna lie. Okay, let me see. What else we got? What else we got? A bunch of authors and their AI images. Oh yeah, Gary's elephant feet pics. I made it into elephant feet. Crazy. Okay, let me go and delete all of these. I don't think I need any of this shit. Author videos, more AI author art. Jesus Christ. I think I'm going to delete up until this point. Alright, let's see if we can clear out Let's see how many garbage items. They won't even tell me. It's like, I don't know, a lot. I'm like, 556 massive ass files. I bet you that was it, though. Lord. I think I killed it, though. It didn't really help. Let's see if CCleaner will do it. I would really like... Let's see. How do I... Oh, these are all junk. Okay, cool. Let me clean and fix this bitch. Let's go. Oh, I have to close Discord. Goodbye. Okay. All right. I don't want to close Spotify, though. Nice try. All right, we're going to let this run. And meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and get back to making some boxes, because that's exciting. I don't know. It feels like one of these bad boys here. To be honest, people are like, do you plan out your page? Nope. I don't. I just kind of fucking go rogue. I'm just going rogue. I legit have no context to what I'm doing beforehand. I just kind of fucking just do it. And actually, I'm gonna go and take this bad boy and I'm gonna make him a large. I don't know, he can be a big box. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Why are you at 40% opacity? What did I do to you? You know what? I'm actually going to duplicate this. I can do what I want. Woo! And we go like this, and we go like this, and then we go like... Hello. We go flip horizontal, whoop, and just get that on over there. And then I'm going to actually bring this up because, yes. I'm going to actually do one big... Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's lots of dialogue. I had 6 panels on this page originally, but I don't think I need it. Congrats, your PC is cleaner. Crazy. Let's see how many of those files... Oh, a good chunk of them were actually, like, kind of fucked up files, I'm not gonna lie. The question is, I don't need bookmarks back up. Cookies is fine. No, but if I do this, it's gonna get mad. I'll do the registry. If this fucking... Oh, see, I don't know. I don't know if I want to fuck with the registry, actually. I don't know what else could possibly be jamming this thing up. Unless it's the old version of Daz, which actually could be what this is. I think I know what's going on. I think I figured it out. I was like, why is this like this? But I think it might be Daz 4. Because I'm pretty clean. Let's see. It could be. This Aura wallpaper service is definitely not helping. You never know what bloatware things install. So you just have to kind of let it go, you know? Huh! Oh yeah, I don't need this anymore. Bye, TikTok. See you later. Thank you for that, Lurk, Lear. I'm doing some computer maintenance before I, start doing anything else. Oh, I can uninstall Planet of Lana now, too. Bye! Oh, and Elder Scrolls Online. Jason, I have not played that in a while. There it goes. I don't know. I'm like, where is Daz? Because I know that there's 2 of them. I want specifically what's on local disk C. What's on there causing issues? Actually, not a lot, to be honest. Open goal. Oh yeah, I can uninstall Loom. Get out of there. I don't even use you on here anymore. Bye. Oh. Cool. Let me go see if Loom is on here. Nope, not in there. This program just like completely broke. Okay, well I don't think it's on here anymore. I think it's gone. What a time to be alive. Sometimes you just gotta go through and uninstall a bunch of shit. Yeah, there's not actually... Oh, Final Draft is installed on here, but that can't be that crazy. And Daz Central is also installed on here, but that itself is not that crazy. Fascinating. Scrivener. But a lot of these are like... not really that crazy. So now I'm like, what is in my C drive that's causing all these issues? Unless... Oh, see, but there's Daz Studio 4 right there. See, it's trying to tell me that Daz Studio is not installed on my C drive. Hold on. Hold on. It's a liar. Windows doesn't know what it's talking about. Let's go see if we can uninstall that version of the software. Huh. What? Okay, well, that's an update. But, 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 do I have to do the DAS install manager? What are you telling me? I don't have the DAS install manager on there. What is this? This is insane. I just would like my computer to work, you know? That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty sick, you know what I'm saying? Applications. DAS Studio. Yep. Mm-hmm. So don't want to uninstall that one because that's DAS. Interesting. I love how I was asking the DAS forum. I'm like looking at the DAS forum here, and it's like somebody asked, "Can you fucking just delete the folder?" And they're like, "No, don't do that. It's gonna corrupt your shit." And then at the end of the day, somebody is like, "Bro, if you can't see it, you gotta just delete it." I'm like, "Look, man." Okay, bye. Okay, let's go delete this. I bet you that was a lot. I'm sure that was a lot of content. Not a lot though. I'm still trying to figure out, like, what could possibly... Because my downloads folder has like 9 gigs or 10 gigs in it itself. So I could just clean up my downloads folder, but I think I'm kind of lazy, to be honest. Okay, well, that solved that issue. Welcome back, Cal. Yeah, in the time that it took you to leave and come back, I learned that Windows has way too much shit in it. And it's Angie. Which is funny to me. So I am going to lay out this page and explode. Oh, all my local files went. That's cool. Bye. There it went. That's alright, I guess. It deleted itself directly into hell. Or it said, "See you later, alligator," and I went, oh. Oh, I like how I can change the node colors on Daz now. That's silly. That's silly. That is kind of some funny stuff. Alright, give me just a second. I'm fine. I'm only kind of dying, you know? I hope you find something delicioso to eat, because I am... Sometimes food is good, you know? Sometimes I wonder... about Daz, you know? I really need this hand to be significantly more relaxed, but... Holy shit. I'm gonna have to just probably manually fix this hand, because, oh my god. I'm so tired. I finally figured out what the fuck was wrong with me. And unfortunately, there is absolutely nothing I can do. Which is, in its essence, kind of funny, but also, oh no. Oh no. That's all I gotta say. It's just, oh no. Oh, nice. We do love some good chives, though. Chives are amazing. Just as like they're just a little bitty onion. Sometimes you just want a little splash of onion and not a lot of onion. I really don't need Jeff Bezos to give me trouble today. Who's speaking on this panel? It's just upping. So that's cool. The shrimp guy is gone, and now we will never hear from him ever again. It is kind of sad. Everybody should hydrate. What are we looking at here? Oh, it's like a tall shot. This is so funny. This shot of him is so aggressive looking. It's really funny. Okay. Oh, it's shrimp heaven now! Just kidding. We have a shrimp. We have been gifted a shrimp. I love how I don't have to censor this one because there's nothing showing because of the post. Crazy. Crazy how that works. I'm gonna do like a little break there, little breakout panel. Oh my lord. Oh. Hello? Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to turn off. Let me just turn off, oh, Bing. He's fine. Let me figure out. Listen to a lot of music about drugs without actually doing drugs, which is, I do think, kind of funny. I don't know why I am this way. I don't know what I've done to deserve this. I probably should at some point eat like a decent lunch, but I have been very mentally unwell. That is the way that I'm going to put that. I'm going to do another breakout panel right here. Um, That's all I gotta say. It's just do 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 do. This is kind of insane. Hold on. Yeah, that's pretty okay. I think I might be able to actually not have to redraw Outbank twice on this if I can get lucky. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I think in theory, I should be able to do it. In theory, anyway. I say all of this with a relatively large asterisk. Oh, bananas are good. Oh, I should put bananas on my shopping list. I don't have any new bananas. Banana. I also need to make a list of like what we're actually eating this week because we're starting to get to we are officially in the last 15 days before I fly to Canada. 15 days. That's it. That's all we got. That's it. Which is kind of insane. So that's cool. Also, I have a quandary. I have a quandary for you, Cal. Would you like to participate in the quandary? And by that, I mean I'm in a weird situation, and having another person's perspective could be useful. Okay, here's the quandary. So, one of the major reasons why I'm quitting is obviously because I can no longer teach at this particular school because of my location, okay? So nothing crazy there. However, another reason that I am glad to quit is because these students legitimately are a concerning level of unable to do stuff for context. So like, just so that the context is clear, when the students log into this digital painting class, there's an entire folder called Tools and Tutorials. And this folder has a bunch of different tutorials in it. These tutorials are video-based tutorials with captions. They break down step by step how a student needs to actually do their work, right? Despite having literal step-by-step directions, these students will turn in things that are wildly off base for the assignment, right? So say, for example, the assignment needs you to make a circle, right? Here's the assignment. You ready? I'm gonna just demo you it real quick right now. Oh, I love how that got rid of all of my recent custom ones. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Oh, I'll turn the shrimp back on. Hold on, give me a second. I'll turn back on the shrimp. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Okay, here's the shrimp. So, this is what they have to do. You ready? Make a circle. Color circle gray. Lock the layer. You ready? You ready for this? Paint circle. This is this assignment. Okay, and they have to do that for a bunch of different shapes, like a cube, a pyramid, a cylinder, etc. The step-by-step tutorial will show them effectively exactly what I have just showed you, which is the head of animation, making the shape, and painting the shape. That's it. That's all there is to it. So can you explain to me why students are doing this? You ready? You ready for it? And that's what I'm getting. So, the quandary is this. The quandary is this. If the students have access to all of these resources, step-by-step tutorial videos, instructions, written instructions, audio instructions, visual instructions, and then I go in and critique their assignment and let them know, hey, none of the directions were followed, so I can't give you a good grade on this, because the way that college grading works, for people who might not be aware, is that you're given a rubric, and that rubric is created by typically somebody who's like an upper up in the department. And for this particular assignment, for example, it'll tell you things like the student needs to have a couple of things met. The first is that the shape needs to be recognizable as a shape. So is it a circle? Is it a cube? Is it a pyramid? Does it have all the required sides, right, on the shape? The second thing is shading and brush use. The third thing is form and dimensionality. So in other words, how well is it lit? The fourth thing is presentation. And then the fifth thing is layer organization. So if all of those things are met, congrats, the student did the assignment. But if a student turns in something with just a gradient on it, immediately that means that they get a 0 on the brushwork section, because reasonably they did not use a brush to paint the shape. So if I have a student who keeps failing assignments and is asking me how best to help them, what am I supposed to do? Right? Because like as a teacher, normally I'd be like, go watch the tutorials. Like I had one student fail an assignment and I was like, hey, did you look at the tutorials for this assignment? And she was like, oh shit, no. Oh shit, no, I didn't even know that those were there. And then I was like, you're good. Like this class is kind of like disorganized, so feel free, just like redo the assignment, turn it in, I'll bump your grade. Because she didn't follow the directions, her grade was very low. By the time she turned her assignment back in, it was literally a 95, right? So clearly that was just an honest mistake. But other students legitimately are like watching the tutorials and are unable to understand. I, as a teacher, don't have the time to go through each student and spend, 2-3 hours teaching each individual student, because I have this semester total 30 different kids that I'm trying to grade, right? So what am I supposed to tell that student that legit just can't understand a tutorial, right? Like, what do I do? And right now I'm thinking the best option is to just kind of direct them to the like student learning center, which is like free tutors that they have for kids at the school, right? And most of those tutors are students themselves, right? They've done the assignments before. So like I don't know if that makes me a dick as a teacher to be like, hey, sorry, like you're effectively beyond help, go to the student tutors, and if you need more help than that, we need to talk to your student advisor. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be an asshole and make this student feel like I don't give a shit about them or don't want to like spend time to teach them. But if they can't sit down and watch a 30 to 40 minute step-by-step tutorial, and then I'm also taking another 30, 40, 60 minutes to do the exact same tutorial when the video is already available, that's like a waste of my time, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure I'm not being an asshole. So this is the quandary. I don't know if what I'm doing is correct. I recognize this is my last semester. It has never gotten this bad, so I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be a big old jerk, you know? So I'm nervous because I know that student is likely going to show up to my office hours today, and I'm going to have to be like, hey, there's nothing I can do to help you. You have to go to the SLC for additional tutoring, because I can't spend like 6 extra hours a week teaching you how to do this thing, you know? But I also want to make sure that I don't sound like an asshole. Yeah, because I've already sent them the information for the tutors, but I don't know if they've, that's kind of something that they got to go do on their own time, you know? So if they just keep failing shit, I just have to kind of be like, yippee! And then keep sending them the same information over and over. I'm just fucking tired, y'all. We're on week 2. Actually, this week is week 3. Week 3. I'm like, holy shit. I can't. I only have so many brain cells, and I can't deal. Okay, I'm glad it doesn't sound like I'm being a dick, because that's like my number one fear. Is I don't wanna have the student be like, oh my god, this person is an asshole. Or I don't want it to make it look like to the upper administration at REMCAT either that it's like, I'm leaving and I'm no longer going to be working for this institution, so I'm just going to effectively just tell the students to fuck off the last semester, because that's definitely not what's happening. I just have never seen such a severe, like, I don't know. Holy God. But also high chips. I'm scared. Okay, I'm scared. Fucking A. So I'm like literally dreading. I'm just dreading doing office hours. I'm like, I don't wanna, like, let's see. Okay, we're putting them in the same exact. Oh. I love how when I'm looking for like a Ming Dynasty tea chair, they're like, oh, would you like this whole furniture set that is a Ming Dynasty style set of chairs? And I'm like, oh, neat. Actually, yes, I would. That makes my job way easier. And I don't have to actually, and it's also from the right angle as well. Crazy. I don't have to go and like look this shit up because it happens to be right here. Crazy how that works. I'm also trying to figure out how bad the desperation is going to be for me to apply for like a straight job. Right at the like get-go from getting into Canada, or if I should be patient, because I have the option. I learned from a friend whose wife lives in Vancouver that there's this place called Jukebox, which is a it's like a painting or like a print shop. That's what I'm looking for. It's a print shop, so it's like Kinko's. Y'all, I'm probably too old. I don't know if you guys know what Kinko's is. Anyway, it's like Kinko's, and it is definitely like a customer service, like like fucking straight ass job. It's just retail. So I'm trying to figure out if I should apply to that just so that I have a Canadian work permit, or if I should just chill the fuck out and then deal with the fact that effectively I'm going to be working like 20 hours part-time. And that's all I got. And then just kind of deal from there. I don't know if I should stoop so low as to like go and apply for something like that, or if I should just chill out and just leave it alone. Oh yeah, I guess this chair doesn't matter in here. You want to know why? Because this man's wearing a skirt. I would ask if they've looked at the tutorials, and if so, yeah, what about it is not clicking because it sounds like a bigger issue. Yeah, totally. I agree though. So if they show up today, we'll have that conversation. And hopefully it'll like sort itself out. Fuck if I know. I also leave video feedback on like everything that they have too, which are typically like 20 minutes long as well. So I'm like, what more can I do? What more do you want from me? I am merely a man. I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude. I have PTSD and no will to live. Now, what I figured out what was happening is actually a super useful video if y'all are struggling with executive dysfunction or burnout. I dropped a video into the wellness channel over in the Discord, and this video is about like vagal nervous system burnout. So it's like when you hit executive dysfunction so fucking hard that you're like laying on the floor for 2 hours and you just can't make yourself do the thing. But she had a bunch of amazing tips and tricks in there on how to like beat the burnout. But one thing that she brought up that I thought was really cool, because this is a lady who's she's an ADHD therapist, and she's a therapist who has ADHD as well, so it's a double whammy there. But like at the end of the day, she was talking about how effectively, because people with ADHD suffer from like time impermanence, where it's like on the plus side you get fun stuff like if somebody reaches out to you after a long time and you haven't seen them in a long time, they it's like you talked to them yesterday, right? So that's cool. That's kind of a fun thing that comes with this for sure. But on the downside, that also means that you could go potentially for like 14 hours without eating, and you're like, what do you mean it's been 14 hours? What happened? It's been 2 minutes, and then your brain is just like, so that's the downside of that, right? But what that means is that if you have a lot of big deadlines coming up, or you're like low-key stressed out about stuff, your brain doesn't know that those things are due in like say they're due in a couple of weeks. Your brain will think that it's due tomorrow. And so then you just feel like you're gonna fucking die. Because your brain is like, oh god, we have to do everything all the time. And that's like not at all what's happening. It's like, no, you're good. Like, if you just chill out, you'll be okay. But the ADHD brain doesn't know that. It just freaks out. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that, but I think that that's what's happening to me, is that my brain is going like, oh, we are moving in like 2 weeks. And so thereby all the stuff that needs to be done for moving needs to be done right now. And it's like, no, that is not the case. Oh, whoops. I forgot Wukong's whole back. It's fine. He's cool. He's chill. He's doing his best, you know, just this one line literally right there. So I thought that was super interesting, but also effectively what it means is that my brain will not reset until after I get to Vancouver. Oh my god, the allergies are crazy. The fires are insane. Why? Yeah. It's crazy. No, Chips, you know. Yeah, because you're doing the same thing. It's just fucking wild. So I have to try and figure out how to like compartmentalize, and to some extent, it's like, you know, all right, we have like our overall major tasks are done, and thankfully like friends came through at the very end of it and are taking most of our big pieces of furniture, which is great. So I don't have to worry about that stuff, and I know logically that it's like these are not things that I have to worry about right now, but my nervous system literally does not give a singular fuck. And it's like, if you don't panic right now, like literally just freak out, we're gonna die, and your cat's not gonna make it to Vancouver, and you're gonna lose your cell phone on the plane. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, bro, I'm gonna need you to chill the fuck out. So yeah, it's been insane. And then it's hard because I do have to like deal with a job that is relatively unpredictable. Like, I like the job when it's you know, just here's the task, do the task. And the tasks are variable enough that it's like fine. But because I've been dealing with a lot of like boomers that are like super unpredictable, like yesterday, like a lady emailed us 5 days ago to ask for updates on stuff. And 5 days ago would have been, let's see, that was 5 days ago. Yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, on my day off. So I didn't get back to her until Wednesday when I went through all of the stuff and saw that she had responded. By the time that I got back to her, she had sent 3 more emails. Sometimes within the span of like a couple of hours from each other. Because I don't think that she realizes that like we don't... Well, one, there's this thing and it's called work-life balance. And I'm not required to fucking have my email on 24/7. But two... like, we don't have updates to give, right? Like, these authors expect that, when they send their books out to reviewers, that these reviewers are going to jump to it and immediately review their book. Like, within 2 weeks, they're going to read the book, review the book, right? But it's like, you're sending these people a free copy of this book, and they don't have to do jack shit if they don't want to. You could send them this free copy of this book. They could forget that it exists and then just completely, delete it out of their memory. Like, they don't have to do anything. It's a complimentary copy that, sure, you'd like them to do something with the book, but that doesn't mean that they are going to. And we don't know what priorities that they have for their social media channels or whatever. And most of the serious influencers, like for example, I reached out to somebody, and she sent back her media kit, and the media kit was like, for an Instagram, a featured Instagram post for her, it's $5,000, right? Which, for an influencer who has 500,000 followers, makes sense. This is how this girl is making her money, how she's making her living. And now, granted, reasonably, a small independent author is likely not going to be able to shell out $5,000, but a lot of the opportunities are like that, and it's really difficult to tell indie authors that if they're going to do that kind of outreach, then unfortunately, the reality is that they have to be willing to pay these influencers money to do so. Like, it's just the way that it goes, and that's really hard. So then they want results immediately. So point is when I'm already thinking about all of that other shit, having a Karen randomly email me like 4 times in a row being like, hey, I need an update on this right now, and then I have to get back to them and tell them like, hey, unfortunately, the influencers haven't said anything because guess what? They're probably reading the book. And sometimes it takes people like 1 to 3 months to read a book. Like, these guys are not going to read it immediately. So I need you guys to chill the fuck out. So then my brain gets triggered into like panic mode where it's like, did I do something wrong? Is this person angry at me? Like all of that shit. And I'm like, boy howdy. I really would not like to have to, like, deal with this if I don't have to. That would be very cool if we could just, like, not. That would be so awesome. So it's been batshit over here. I'm just tired as fuck, point being. And it's like, it's hard because it's like, I don't want to deal with the boomers anymore, but also a lot of the customer service that I'm going to be working is going to be like, or a lot of the jobs I'm going to be working is boomers. And I'm like, man, man. And I wish that I was the type of person that was like, oh, I can just go in and pick up any kind of customer service job. Like, I have a lot of people, like, I do appreciate Sujong for recommending Jukebox to me. It's a very kind thing to do, because she also is trying to, like Sujong wants to be a Sega artist. They run amazing, long withstanding Sonic comics and stuff. They've been in the industry a couple of times working for games specifically, right? Which is super cool. And they know more than anyone how important it is to have a straight job, right? Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and you got to do that straight job shit. But unfortunately, also, like, I recognize I am the kind of neurodivergent person where if I get put into a situation where I'm miserable and having to do like customer service tasks and stuff like that over and over and over, and I'm not really left to my own devices, I'm gonna be fucking miserable. So a lot of people are like, yeah, just go, like, you know, if you need a job in Canada, go get a job at Jukebox, right? That is a very reasonable solution for, like, I would argue, like, most people. But then I recognize I'm over here like, well, but I physically can't, though. Like, if I go to try and do that, I will want to fucking kill myself. You know, so it's like, what do I do? Like, what am I supposed to do? You know, if those are the only jobs available, what do I do? Because then my current options are either, one, stay with Pavendo and hope that this boss gives me full-time work, or go and work a really miserable customer service job that I don't want to do. It's like one or the other. I'm like, So I don't like being put into this position. I'm not a fan of that. It's very weird. So I'm also trying to work through that conundrum as well. Because the fight or flight in me is like, dude, you need to just, like, apply for a job, otherwise shit's gonna be bad. But then, like, the logical adult in me is like, well, but you also have 4 fucking degrees and you shouldn't just, like, jump into that. Cal, whatever emote you have, it's that tummy ache emote, that's it. That's it. Okay, look at this man. Look at him. Okay, he's also got these things going on. There we go. He's fine. It's it feels definitely relatable. I may end up changing his arm as well. This back one. So that's okay, we can do that, we can make that happen. This guy has a completely different finger style, and actually, did I didn't, but I think drawing some slight claws on here can be kind of cool. I just recognize I'm in a weird spot too. Like I feel like I'm in a weird spot culturally as well, where I'm just very like disappointed in people all the time. I don't know if anybody else has like been feeling that recently. But like I learned the other day that the situation, like if you guys are unfamiliar with the not the Guillermo del Toro situation, the Jorge Gutierrez situation, um he was offered like an animation contract with fucking Amazon, and Amazon wanted him to test out their new like Gen AI software that they have going on that's supposed to be an assistive animated software. Now, before I go forward, I don't have any fucking clue what the software was supposed to do, so I can't speak on whether or not the software itself was a fully Gen AI software, like you're putting in prompts and it's doing shit for you, or if it was an efficiency gains tool where it was like helping doing in-betweening or shit like that. No clue. I have no idea. But effectively, the series of events was about 36 hours long, and it started with Jorge Gutierrez announcing that he was going to be working on the series Punky Duck with this software, to within 36 hours, or really like 24 hours, he had said, you know, I'm learning a lot from a bunch of you. I have things to think about. And then within, you know, a very short period after that, he went, okay, hey, I'm not working on Punky Duck anymore, and I'm dropping out of the Gen AI program because so many people were very pissed. And I only learned yesterday he did an interview and disclosed that the reason that he made that announcement so quickly is because people were sending death threats to his house and threatening to kill his wife over Gen AI. right? And so I'm also in a weird position where, like, I understand one from one perspective where it's like Guillermo, or not Guillermo, Jorge knew. The reason I keep saying Guillermo is because Guillermo is also involved in this, but not in a bad way. Jorge knew going into it that Amazon was trying to push a Gen AI tool. So this was not like they had said, hey, check out this amazing software that will show you how to, tween really quickly, or it'll help you upscale your textures, or, et cetera, et cetera. Like, there could have been any number of software that they were trying to promote. But the program explicitly was talking about Gen AI. So on the one hand, I feel like Jorge should have known better. He should have known better and known that it's like, well, I need to do research on these Gen AI tools and figure out if they're worth a shit or not. And he probably would have figured out pretty quickly that, like, nah, it's not worth the smoke. I'm not going to engage with it. And he didn't. So it's kind of like a fool me once, shame on me kind of a situation here. So I do understand why people were upset, because it's like, at what point, do you just stay the fuck away from, one, Jeff Bezos, and two, Gen AI as a whole? But on the other hand, it is fucking insane to me that people lack the level of critical thinking necessary to have a conversation with somebody about these technologies, because people clearly could have easily asked Jorge and been like, hey, so here's some information about this software. This software uses generative AI technology. It's likely that this database was trained off of XYZ artists. This is really shitty. We feel kind of betrayed as, like, artists that you would do something like this. So can you explain your reasoning behind it? And then Jorge very reasonably could have gone, oh shit, I didn't realize that this was the technology, that this was the situation. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And yes, I've terminated my contract with them. I'm no longer going to be working with them. Thank you so much for letting me know that this technology was this harmful. I appreciate you guys. That's how that situation could have gone, but instead, people are so vitriolic that their response was to send death threats, dox his address, and then send death threats to him and his wife. Fucking crazy. So I've also had a weird feeling about shit lately over a good variety of things, because I'm concerned about Americans and about their vitriolic desire to do shit for clicks. And what I think is interesting about this, and obviously I have no proof about this, so this is not something that is credible in any way beyond my own critical thinking skills. But what I think is interesting about this is having information about, like, what happened to Neil Gaiman in his situation with effectively a bunch of neo-Nazis trying to get him canceled for sexual assault, and then it turned out that everything was consensual, and that a bunch of groypers and neo-Nazis on the back ends of 4chan were coordinating a massive attack with alt-right news media to try and get his career ruined, and then also death threats sent to his house, etc., etc. That's obviously a very likely and probable thing that can happen, and so it would not surprise me if those death threats were not coming from actual animation fans or people concerned about the technology, etc. It is instead more likely that Nazis on the internet saw it as an opportunity to attack a person of color in an arts field. So, knowing that, and knowing that it's like, this is not like a total, like, faith in humanity loss situation where it's like, wow, people are really shitty, I can't even believe that they would do something like that situation. And thankfully, I don't think that that's the situation, but it does point out a good thing, which is that the Nazis are out for blood. They are willing and able to jump on anyone and anything if they find that it's problematic in any way, or that they can use it to push their agenda, which is to make people feel like they're unsafe, right? Because that's their goal as a group, is to make people feel unsafe. So that makes me nervous, because as an educator and as a content creator, and as somebody who talks about political issues in my work, as somebody who is transgender myself, I fear for, trying to express my opinion on nuanced topics that I've done a lot of research on, and then suddenly am unable to because these people are so vicious, right? So it becomes an interesting thing. So I've been thinking about that a lot lately over the last like couple days too, and it's got my brain churning. And it made me really sad to hear that he had been so like violently threatened. Because of course they could have just left it, right? And the reason I was bringing up Guillermo del Toro is because apparently he and Guillermo del Toro are close friends, and Guillermo had even talked to him about it, being like, "Hey, well, are you sure that this technology is safe? Right? What do you know about it? Are there any red flags that you're getting from the situation? What should we be concerned about?" And that was how Guillermo had approached the conversation, was with grace and with, caution. It was like, "Hey, you need to make sure that you're staying safe." But it was not Guillermo's first instinct to immediately throw his friend under the bus. So it feels like artists are not even allowed to have conversations about this technology. And I see other artists getting like fucking shit rocked by it as well. Like, I know George Lucas had said something recently where he had made the statement that, like, quote, like, it was something super similar to, like, AI is here to stay and there's nothing that we can do about it. So we need to figure out how to combat it or adapt. Right? That was the overall vibe. And now people are like, "Oh, George Lucas is using AI." And I'm like, oh my God. Like, you guys are so cooked. Like, your brain cells are like a runny egg. You're not even like a fully cooked egg at this point. And you're doing this to get clicks because like everything, we function off of monetization culture now. So anything that you can do to rage bait or fear bait the algorithm, you're going to do it. So it makes, I guess it makes me feel like my art then becomes to some extent worthless, right? Because if you're producing good shit that has I guess any kind of critical thinking required to understand the message, you're fucked. Like, fucked. And so I worry about it. I worry about having to be so explicit in my work about certain issues and effectively handhold the audience through it. Or like I saw also too that like Andy Serkis is getting backlash from the Lord of the Rings community because he's doing his like Search for Gollum movie or whatever. And the cast is predominantly white, and people are like, "Oh, cool, so you don't think black people can enjoy Lord of the Rings?" And he was like, "That's not what I said at all." And his answer was that the Shire and that Lord of the Rings is predominantly inspired by Viking and Scottish and Irish culture. And like for the hobbits, for example, they live in the Shire. Like, Shire is a Gaelic word. And so in his mind, he says, "I'm going to put race and race diversity in where relevant, but I'm not going to make a racially diverse cast for the sake of that point." And he had also touched on how the Search for Gollum movie is also going to touch on the xenophobia and racism that happens within the Shire, because even the hobbits are relatively xenophobic. Like, they can be kind of xenophobic, and they don't really want to deal with anybody outside of the Shire. And that in its essence is, it could be interpreted as racism, it could be interpreted as just blatant xenophobia right there. It's there is no Warren Bossing say, right? They don't want to deal with the uncomfortable truth that there is shit of conflict happening outside of their borders. So their solution is to be extremely isolationist and to not let anybody in, and then to just like party all the time. That's their solution. So I'm curious to see how he tackles this, but then it also makes me again afraid because I'm seeing people call Andy Serkis violently racist. And I'm like, that's not really what's happening, And like everybody else on the cast is also a strong proponent for diversity. And so I'm like, you wouldn't trust their track record and instead are only interested in whatever the hell is going on. So I don't know, the arts are in a weird place. Yeah, right. I like pancakes. Oh, so you hate waffles. Yeah, for sure. And I guarantee that there are probably, going to be a few people of color in there. and that's going to be the way that that goes. But it's almost like it almost feels like people are wanting, you know, like say you're you know, telling a story about ancient China, like while people of different ethnicities were around at that time, obviously, right? It becomes what I would call the Yosuke conundrum. With Ubisoft, for example, where you have a character who is black, right? He was ethnically African. I don't remember where from, in Japan at a time in which there were not a lot of ethnically diverse people in Japan. It was just a lot of Japanese people, and that was just the way that that went. Yosuke was the samurai was an exception, right? He was a unique individual in Japan. So cool, we have that established. But of course, Ubisoft gets accused of shoehorning a black person into Japanese history when that guy actually fucking existed. Like, he was a real dude. But on the flip side, you can have the equal problem where, say, you're making a film about dynastic China, and there were not a lot of like non-Chinese people there, and then you're just like, oh god, this cast needs a white person. And then at that point, you're just kind of fucking throwing in a white person just for the sake of throwing in a white person, right? And I think that that's what Andy Serkis is arguing, but in the reverse. It's like, well, we're not going to just, again, shoehorn people in of different ethnicities simply because you feel that it is right. We're going to honor the source material and what the original writer had in mind for their work and the culture that they came from, or that they wanted to honor. In this case, like, I don't think Tolkien was a Scottish, Irish, or Norwegian in descent. I'm pretty sure he was just a regular British guy, you know. But it still is, I think, disrespectful to not honor the work. You know, there's a lot of fucking nuance, and I'm kind of to the point where it's like, okay, well, if people want Lord of the Rings like content, you know what they can do? They can write new shit. And in their world, they can have anybody of any ethnicity that they want. They can go absolutely fucking ape with the casting and the level of diversity in their own work, rather than trying to force adaptations of content that were created during racial bias periods to be diverse. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense, and I think that that was kind of what Andy Serkis was going for. And then people are very angry. They're super, super mad. Super mad. Oh my god, George Lucas being kept prisoner in that artist exhibit in that Minion movie. Yup. They put him in there. They put him back there. So that way they could just keep rehashing all of his stuff, you know? I actually want to see Minions and Monsters really bad. I hear it's actually very clever, and a lot of animators have been really enjoying it. Because it's just some silly Billy shit. It makes fun of Hollywood in a really refreshing way, or so I've heard. So I've heard. Just kidding. I'm not doing this. I'm full of lies. This will be fine. This is good enough. Yeah, well, like, to be clear too, like, Rings of Power as like an adaptation of Lord of the Rings, the TV show, is not a remake. The Search for Gollum is not a remake. I think it's like a sequel? Question mark. The Hobbit obviously is not a remake. That's a prequel. And then you have the new Lord of the Rings project that's being developed by Stephen Colbert. That is also not a remake, right? So the Lord of the Rings, I think, is unique in the sense that, thankfully, they have not fallen down the live action remake or reboot hellhole that other franchises have fallen down, which I think makes this even more awkward from like an adaptation standpoint, where it's like they're not even they're doing what we were doing in 2001, you know. And it's not to say, of course, that like we shouldn't have other diverse content. But yeah, we need new shit. We just, like, if it's going to be this problematic for people, then we need new shit. But then that also means that they need to tolerate people of color and people of diverse religious backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, and levels of ability writing content for Hollywood, right? You can't just have, like, the token black writer or the token black actor or the token Asian creator, the token disabled or neurodivergent creator creating, quote, quirky content for your studios to check the boxes, and that I think was what Andy Serkis was afraid of or wanted to avoid. Is it's like, how do we not do effectively what Disney is doing, which is making corporate slop that nobody wants to watch and that nobody wants to engage with because it's exhausting. It feels exhausting. So I don't know. I've had a lot of fucking things to think about from the internet over the last couple of days, and there are a lot of big, like, cultural, philosophical problems that cannot simply be solved this way. And, you know what I'm saying? Just, yeah, it's a lot. Are you just like a regular squat-ass teapot? Yes, you are. Look at that. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, that's not what a teapot looks like. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. So I don't know. Maybe I'm too thinky for my own good. Maybe I think too much about these kinds of problems for my own good. But I also have to try and navigate like how I'm going to be a content creator and a creative in this landscape as well, because that shit is traumatizing. Whoop. Look at that shit. Okay, I'm gonna also put this in a little tea tray too, because Bing is not one to fuck around. He's gonna put his shit on a tray, damn you. Nice. That's adorable. Yeah. Well, and I think for me, yeah, Forgotten Island looks fucking insane. It looks amazing. It looks so good. Love it. But I think what people have misconstrued as you know, like you're saying, I want stories that have characters that reflect and show people as people. Absolutely. And we have to avoid the tar trap of also too, that also means white people, right? But, and there's a big asterisk next to that, but that means being culturally and ethnically accurate where relevant, right? And that's like underline that 40,000%, right? So a great example of this, which I love, is that there are these Russian guys. There are social media channels called Pieterville, and they have gotten a lot of traction. Let's see, historical TikTok. They've gotten a lot of traction dressing up. Why? Not Porterville. Where are they? This is so dumb. I'm gonna go look them up. They got a lot of traction for dressing up in historical costumes, particularly costumes from the 19th century, and showcasing historic Russian architecture to trending songs. So one of their videos that went viral was them dancing to the Rah Rah Rasputin song, which was super fucking funny, by the way. But they recently announced, because they're all theater kids, right? They're all creatives, which I love for them. They announced recently that they're doing a 6-part miniseries that is a murder mystery. It's a period murder mystery vertical drama. And they, Peter, where are they? Peterville. I spelled it wrong. That's what happened to me. They're doing this, really fun theater project, right? But what's cool is it's about 4 Russian dudes that get trapped in a house, and there's a murder mystery that happens, and you have different actors playing different types of Russians from the period, and 3 of them are ethnically Russian. 1 of them is a black Russian dude, right? Because even these guys are able to acknowledge that there was a lot of immigration into Russia that were from the black diaspora, right? So it's really refreshing to see people do a historic drama that's culturally accurate, because these are the 3 main guys. These guys are all obviously ethnically Russian, right? White Russian. But then this was them on set. Oh my god, there's this girl as well. She's also in it. I wish I could find that other actor. Let me see if I can find their TikTok. I can. Yes, this drama's getting out of control. It's getting crazy. But we have all of these actors engaging in a historical context. It's not forced, and surprise, surprise, it's diverse, right? So we can make content about specific like cultural or ethnic groups while still being honest about those things, right? And I feel like especially Hollywood has a massive problem being like, oh, well, you know, if we're going to be making a movie about like Vikings, for example, then they all have to be white. And it's like, okay, like you're showing, all you're showing is that you don't even understand the demographic that you're making content about. But on the flip side, if you're doing something like you're maybe making a piece about a remote area in the Czech Republic, or like you're doing The Witcher, right? A lot of people I know get upset at The Witcher because it's like, well, most of these people are white, and it's like, well, this is effectively Czech historical fiction or historical fantasy, right? So most of the people in this are probably gonna be white, and that's okay. That also gets a thumbs up, right? So we don't need to shoehorn shit in it where it doesn't belong, but you sure as shit better guarantee that if you're making content about a specific ethnic group or they call it in literature own voices, right? So if you're making content about disabled people, the actors need to be disabled, the writers need to be in the disability community, or you need to have a disability sensitivity editor on the fucking project, or ideally all three, right? You can't just fucking like throw shit at the wall and pray that it's gonna be like well received, you know? Like I'm fucking tired. I'm tired. I want to get my certification in disability, or not disability editing, sensitivity editing, so that way I can have slightly more authority when talking about this kind of topic, you know? But like, yeah, holy shit, people just do not, they don't get it. Like they legit just don't fucking get it. So I'm tired. I want new shit. I want new shit. But instead, guys, we're getting Hotel Transylvania 5. Not that I'm mad. I'm actually not that mad at Sony. They can continue to do Hotel Transylvania. I'm not super fucking worried about it. But it is hard when we're given something so cool like Forgotten Island that is amazing. Or like I just got done yesterday watching Soy Franquella finally. Oh my god! If you guys have not had an opportunity to watch Soy Franquella, please do. Um, there are a lot of things about it. I do have some critiques on it, but I think overall those critiques are really just like, it kind of comes down to just, you know, personal preference, or like it could be one or two minor things that could be changed. And it really wouldn't impact the story too deeply. So as it is, it's exceptionally good, especially for a budget of 65,000 US dollars. Holy shit. Disney's out here making garbage Moana live action remake for $250 million. And those Mexican animators made Soy Franquella for $65,000. Oh my god. So yeah, it was definitely a highlight of my week to be able to finally sit down and just like give that the time that it deserves. But as a stop motion film, amazing. It's beautiful. The Mexican folklore is really nice. It's a great highlight. And guess what? There are no white people in the whole fucking movie. Crazy how that works when you have a piece set in Mexico. What? Crazy. So yeah, it was really good. But point being, yeah, from I can see why Guillermo del Toro just was he loved it. He was so supportive of the whole project, and I understand why. It was insanely good. So I need more shit like that. I want all that shit from all sorts of creators from all over the world. I need more projects like this. And I think we're going to get there because people are starting to get real sick of this rehashed shit, or they need new flavors on the rehashed shit. They can't cope with you know, the same franchises over and over and over. And I from what I hear, I think Disney canceled some live action remake projects because of how poorly they've been doing. So we can only hope that like this is starting to kind of make an impact. I don't know. But yeah, Soy Franquella, it was incredible. It was very cute. Lots of magic realism, which is nice. I don't think I've seen, like, I can't think of like the last time I saw a magic realism movie. I feel like it was like the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus was like the last one that I watched. They're not as common. Oh yeah, I guess Pan's Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth would have been the last original one, and I guess Life of Pi falls into that as well. But I definitely would put Soy Frankelda into that category. They're few and far between, but when they're well done, they're really, really, really well done. And I think that Soy Frankelda was definitely that. So if you haven't watched a lot of magic realism, you definitely should. It's super good. It was just beautiful, fucking stunning. Okay, so now I gotta get the horns on here, lordy. Not to rant about a bunch of random shit, but I feel like my brain is over fried from the sheer amount of like political hoops that we have to jump through in the U.S. here, and I don't even have the bandwidth to think about normal topics anymore. It's like I want to just be able to do what I was doing, which is like focus on art and enjoy movies and all that shit. And you have to think about all of this extra shit in order to make content. And that is sad. Nope, I didn't need a group. Thanks, though. I want artists to also be able to get their fair share of attention as well. Like, I'm still so pissed that the Avatar Aang movie is not going to be in theaters. Like, there's a couple of select theaters that are going to do it, but, like, it's not going to get a theatrical run like it deserved. And that makes me super sad. Like, I can't imagine being the animators and feeling... I would feel really betrayed. Like, just a bummer. Because I want to go see it in theaters. I would love to go see that fucking thing in theaters. But it's like fucking fighting God. You have to, like, literally be willing to punch execs in the throat in order to get the television recognition or, like, the marketing recognition that you need to make your thing live. That's not what I wanted. I need to eat something, but I don't know what I want to eat. And that also makes me upsetty spaghetti. The fight or flight has been crazy. Crazy. Damn dragon antlers. God damn dragons. Dang it. I just wish to go sit down and eat some sushi. I found a thing that I think I'm going to try and take Jace to for his birthday when that comes around in October. And in Vancouver, there's a place that is, as far as they are aware, the only place in Vancouver that does traditional Edo style sushi. It's like 135 CAD a person, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Oh my god. Eat your potassium. That sounds really good, though. I do like bananas a lot. I'm glad I'm not, like, allergic to them. Side-eyes my dad, who is, like, horribly allergic to bananas. I somehow dodged all that shit, and I'm so grateful. But everybody should hydrate. I'm drinking some black tea, and it is peach flavored because it's the summer, and I can do what I want. Banana. Speaking of the Minions. Yeah, dude, my poor dad can't eat, like, any vegetables. He's got this thing called, oral allergy syndrome. So it's really weird because his body confuses, it confuses vegetables for pollen, and then will just freak out. So he can't eat, like, a bunch of shit, but he can also still eat those same things if they're cooked slightly. So, like, raw tomatoes, for example, absolutely the fuck not. He will instantly die. But if tomato sauce, like pasta sauce, totally fine. Totally fine. So it's a weird thing. He's also trying to prove to American doctors that he has histoplasmosis, and that's not going very well. I believe him. I think that he's on the right hypothesis, but now he just has to convince dumb fucking American doctors to actually do the test that he needs to be able to prove that he has histoplasmosis. But he is definitely no stranger to, you know, having to fight the American medical system in order to get appropriate care. He'll get there eventually. But yeah, I'm pretty sure my dad is immortal. He just won't die. Yeah, true, Chips, though. True. Fucking, yeah, America. America. Hell yeah. The problem with my dad, thankfully, he's not really, like, running up on anything that's, like, super, you know, it's not like he's asking for treatments that are illegal or that are difficult to come by, although that's definitely been in his medical history before, you know, where he's had to go get treatments that were not FDA approved because our government sucks and they don't do anything. But in this case, the disease is so rare that he has to try and convince doctors that he actually has it. You know, it's like he's got to find the specialists of all specialists. But yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing okay. He's retired now, so he's not going to be, like, running the fuck around and, like, having kids literally cough directly in his mouth. You know, because that used to be a lot of what he was doing, was, like, school photography, and kids are nasty. Kids are gross. They're super fucking gross. So that was nasty. It's like finding the last unicorn. That's what I feel like this is. He's been considering, like, going to Australia for treatment because it's like it's starting to get to the point where it's like, I don't know if the poo-poo disease in the US says anything about how we're doing right now. I did watch somebody today call it butt COVID, which I thought was really funny, though. We'll be okay. The butt COVID won't get us, but it's not as bad as I think they're making it out to be. But it also doesn't surprise me that we're in a situation where Taco Bell almost killed everybody. It's just funny. Oh yeah, no, it's true. Kids are gross. Kids are fucking gross. Yeah, my dad's normally very good with dealing with children, but sometimes they can be just nasty. And that's okay. Sometimes that's just the way that it goes. Alright, y'all, how do I convince my lizard brain that I need to eat? How do I tell it that I need to fucking consume? I'm gonna turn around and actually eat some of this pub mix. I'm eating the chips. Everybody should get a snack. No, my Cheeto, why? Oh my god, I got the world's largest rye chip. It's crazy. Carrots and hot Cheetos sounds like a delightful combo, though. What a great snack. Everybody should stretch, get some food. Last night I had some Arby's as my Goodbye America meal. That was probably going to be my last American fast food extravaganza. They do have Arby's in Vancouver, but like the closest one is in like I think it's like Denton, British Columbia or something. It's like effectively almost Washington State. Oh, Carrick, that's where I'm at too. No, exactly. I've gotten into the habit, and maybe this would be a good tip for you too. This has been a lifesaver for me. But I've gotten into the habit of buying bulk snacks that I know that I like to just kind of munch on. So in my case, it's trail mix and pub mix. Like this is just like it's like snack mix. It's got like Cheetos and pretzel sticks and that kind of stuff. But I don't have to prepare it at all. And just having the thing next to my desk has been insanely helpful for just making my body eat. You know, it's like you don't really have an excuse effectively where it's like, it's right there. And it's not the healthiest choice in the whole world, but at least it's food. You know what I'm saying? But I totally understand that though. That's kind of where I'm at. Or my brain will do the TISM thing where it's like I have lots of food in the house. Like I have samosas in the freezer, for example, that I can air fry. But my brain is like, well, but that doesn't sound good though. And it's like, well, what does sound good? And then my brain will do something super obscure where it'll be like, well, what sounds good is the sushi that you had in Stockholm, Sweden. Or you remember that the gyros that you had on Eos in Greece. That's what sounds good. I'm like, bro, I can't fly across the ocean and cure my depression. I don't know how to tell you that's not gonna we can't do that. Like that's not gonna happen. So that's been my issue lately. True, Cal, true. Ooh, have a nice haircut. Ooh, and enjoy your movie too. You'll have to let us know what you saw and if you liked it. Have fun. Chips is right though. I gotta compare American and Canadian Arby's. I guarantee that Canadian Arby's is not going to give me the explosive poopy butthole disease. You know, I'm gonna be safe from that. No poo poo butt here. Just regular poo poo butt. No extra poo poo butt. And that'll be good. That'll be a good time. But I am excited for that. Thankfully, what I like about Vancouver too is it seems like a lot of Colorado culture is very similar to Vancouver culture. So, for example, like I've been wondering what kind of chains are going to be there, and I was surprised to find that Vancouver has a couple of Chipotles there. You know, and it's like, oh, that's cool, and it makes sense because it's like, you know, they're kind of health food focused as well. They're into trendy foods, and Chipotle is very trendy, you know, so it's like, oh, this is cool. I can still access a Colorado food chain that I really like without worrying about it too bad. So that's cool. It's the weed. I mean, honestly, Colorado is indeed one of the weed capitals of the U.S. as well. So we're all in the same vibe. We're all just trying to figure out how to get high and dissociate from the hellscape reality of capitalism. I get it. But yeah, they're not quite like it looks like as stuffy as like California would be, for example, where Californian health food people are like, would you like to go shopping at Erewhon the most expensive grocery store in the fucking country, where like a banana is $30 and you're like, no, I think I'm good. So it's not quite that level of like trendy health food, which I love. And I think it's because the like diversity diaspora is so insane in Vancouver, where you're gonna get a lot of like African, Arab, and Asian people, which is super cool. So healthy food is a must. And like having foods that are like fucking halal and other shit too is pretty popular. Oh yeah, yes. Hold on. If you've never seen Erewhon, let me show you the hell. This is truly, people are like, what does late stage capitalism look like? And I'm like, Erewhon. Erewhon prices. So here is the grocery portion of Erewhon. And some of it is like pretty normal. Oh, just kidding. They're banana. It's 30 cents for a banana actually, but for an avocado, it's $4 for a single avocado. And mind you, avocados grow in fucking California. So I'm like, why? But where Erewhon really starts to get crazy is like, here's a tiny jar of peanut butter for $8. Here's a tiny jar, like a regular sized jar of chili, $18. Olive oil, $30. 12 eggs, $15. And some of the stuff is like Whole Foods prices, like Fage. Well, but see, this tiny thing of Fage, I could get twice the size for $3 at my Whole Foods. So it's like they're intentionally upcharging. Ground beef here at Whole Foods for organic ground beef is $8.99 a pound. They're selling it for $11.99. Now the worst things are the smoothies. Hold on, let me find them. These English muffins look silly and blue. I'm not. But this is their thing, right? This is a trendy yellow and blue sourdough. For an 18 ounce of bread, so that's a half a loaf of bread for $16. Fucking insane. The Erewhon smoothies are what really get me. They're very trendy because they're pretty. So, oh no, here's Kendall Jenner with a fucking Erewhon smoothie, if that makes any of this makes sense. But for a 16 ounce smoothie, you are paying $20 USD for a singular 16 ounce smoothie. And apparently they're not even that good. Like, people go constantly and they're like, I'll try the viral Erewhon smoothie. Like, let's see, it's gotta be that good. And it's like, no, this is just fucking coconut whip and spirulina. Like, it's not really, not that crazy. You wouldn't need to pay $20 for a 16 ounce smoothie. Like, no need for it. So I think because East Asian communities especially, and South Asian communities too, are very it's not that they're super frugal, it's more so that they value the overall idea that food and community things should be accessible. And so you end up in a position where eating out is sometimes cheaper, or more oftentimes cheaper, than buying things from the grocery store. Which I'm very excited about, because I respect that a lot, and they make it so that people can run businesses and provide really good services for people. So that's pretty cool. My mind was blown looking at prices for like a good comparison here is the closest fish and chips place to me is Great British Fish and Chips. Now, Colorado is a landlocked state. There is no way in hell we're getting to the ocean. Great British Fish and Chips produces some pretty good fish and chips, all things considered. In Colorado, right now, if I wanted to order takeout from the Broadway location, We're talking $20, almost $20, probably $20 with tax for a cod meal. To come with 3 pieces of cod and a basket of chips and a tartar and I think a cocktail sauce. No drink, right? Meanwhile, in Mount Pleasant, in Vancouver, the fish counter is very close to where I'm going to live. They offer some meal prep stuff, which is cool. But if I wanted to get a couple pieces of cod from this place, this is one massive piece of cod for 18 Canadian dollars, which is about 14 or 15 USD. And you're right on the ocean. So no matter what, you're still saving a little bit of money. So it makes me really sad. It's kind of a hard thing to look at. I'm very excited to be around people who aren't trying to, like, literally ruin your life by overcharging you or scamming the shit out of you, you know? Because America is a fucking scam. For sure. There's a lot about it that I'm like, I understand that it's relatively better than living in other places, right? There's a lot of places in the world that are worse off, definitely. But in terms of, like, quote, developed nations, unquote, global north cities, if we want to say it that way, or global north countries, America ate the hot shit. That is for sure. Same cost of living as Denver, Colorado. And it's one of the most expensive cities in Canada. The only way I could spend more money in the US would be if I went and lived in New York or Los Angeles. Which is low-key insane. So I'm very excited to just kind of GTFO. It's going to be pretty good, I think. I just want a fish. I just want somebody to give me a fish. You know? I'm like, just give me the fish. And let me die in peace. That sounds good. Yeah, Erewhon is a culture shock for sure. And obviously that's, like, you know, worst case scenario here for the US. But I can tell that I'm going kind of slow today because I have not yet gotten through line art, but that's okay. I'd rather take it easy and chat than stress myself out before having to meet with these students. I just don't know what I'm gonna do, y'all. Hello? Photoshop? Why is your opacity at 2%? Alright, I'm not gonna ask it any questions. I defo did not hit that shit, but good try. I'm super excited to be able to get, like, just across the street from my apartment is a Tanzanian restaurant. And I'm stoked. I want to go try a Tanzanian samosa. I'm just fucking so stoked. Stressed out, but very excited. Oh yeah, it's bad. Cal, it's bad. It's bad, okay? And what's crazy is that I live in what I would consider, in terms of, like, access to social rights or individual rights, level of education, air quality, water quality, access to outdoor spaces, those kinds of things, access to good public education, that kind of stuff. overall, I live in what I would argue to be one of the best states in the U.S. I think at least Colorado ranks in the top like 15. So it's got some cost of living issues for sure. And it's definitely not nearly as good as like maybe like Vermont or Connecticut. So East Coast smaller states tend to do a little bit better in that regard. But also to that end though, I definitely sure as fuck don't live somewhere like Louisiana or Texas. You know, and I think that that's what makes talking about the US so difficult is that um like I was trying to explain yesterday how I googled it. Rolo moving from Burlington, Vermont to St. Petersburg, Russia is 4,000 miles away. Me flying to Vancouver is like going from Munich, Germany to Moscow, Russia. It is so fucking far. But when I'm flying from Denver, Colorado to Vancouver, British Columbia, I pass over 5 US states, I think. Nevada, Utah. Wait. I guess if you're flying at a diagonal, that'd be like Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, Wisconsin, Montana, Seattle, or Washington State. Yeah, 6 US states. Holy fuck! Like that's so fucking big. And most of those states don't have anything in them. Like Wyoming is legitimately a dust bowl. There's you got a couple of cool places where you can go and be like, "Oh, this is where this geyser shoots out of the side of the thing." Crazy! This is where Smokey the Bear is gonna beat you up for lighting forest fires. Idaho has potatoes. You know, it's like there's not really a lot going on until you get to like the East Coast or the West Coast. A lot of those states in the middle, Colorado included, are like, well, what do you do here? And like, at least for us, it's like, well, we got the Rockies, and it's you know, a beautiful place to go hike, ski, check out some moose. Occasionally, there will be an errant moose on the highway, and somebody will run their Lamborghini into it or whatever. Crazy. I witnessed that with my eyeballs. But for the most part, like, that's all that we have as a state. It's like you've got that, and that's a very isolated part of my state. Like, most people, when they think of Colorado, it's surprising to them when I'm like, I live in a desert. And they're like, well, what? But Colorado has Pikes Peak and the Rocky Mountains and, you know, bighorn sheep and elk and moose. And it's like, well, yeah, if you're in the mountains. But everything to the east is a Great Plain and a Dust Bowl that sometimes gets tornado warnings because of how flat it is. And then everything south is effectively almost New Mexico. Colorado Springs South is just like New Mexico plus. You know, it's the San Luis. Like it used to be part of fucking Mexico. So like there's not really a lot going on here. And that's most states in the US where it's like this is land. And it's like, damn, that's kind of crazy. You know, it's very insane to think about. There's not a lot to do here. And I feel like Canada has some of the same vibe for the most part. You know, where like I think Canada's landmass overall is bigger than the US. Like there's more like physical like geography happening, actual land mass there. But also at least Canada is honest in the sense that when you have like a state or a province like the Northern Territories, you know that it's effectively between you, the indigenous peoples, and God up there. You're going into the tundra and nothing is really happening up there. Most people are going to live over by Vancouver or over by Nova Scotia. So it's like there's less states, I guess, less actual breakdown of that versus here. It's like it takes you 6 hours to drive into another state. And then when you get there, you're like, am I in another state? And then all that tells you that you're in another state is a sign, a really sad sign that'll say something like, welcome to the land of magic. And then like around you is just like a fucking tumbleweed, a dead deer, and like somebody doing crack on the side of the road probably. Or nothing. Literally nothing but you and the vultures. And if you run out of gas, there's actually a huge chance that you're going to get stranded and die? Kind of crazy. Which in its essence sounds funny. But the Mojave reaches temperatures of like 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And people live out there. Not because they want to, but because they have to. And it's the only place in America where you can buy a house. Oh, fuck. Like, I wish I had, like, I guess I could explain in context. Like, for context, in my area, starter homes, right? When you think of a starter home, that's like, you know, a home that a young couple's going to get. Maybe they just got out of college. They just got their first college job. They need to buy a home, right? When I was a kid, a starter home in the US would run anywhere from about 150,000 USD to 250,000 USD. When I was a kid, my parents bought a mansion. It is a big ass house. It's not maybe like mansion, but that is like a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house on an acre of land for $250,000. In Denver right now, the average starter home cost is 560,000 Canadian dollars. And that's if you get lucky. That's if you can find a cheap one. Fucking insane. Fucking insane. Oh yeah, true though. Yeah, Ontario has 16 million people in it. No, it's true though. Yeah, and like a lot of the northern provinces, I imagine, are less populated. I imagine that, like, because let me see the population comparison between like somewhere kind of remote, like Alberta. It's not like remote. They have a population of, oh, if like Google would load, that'd be really cool. They have a population of about 5 million people. And the most deserted state that I can think of is Oklahoma. Oklahoma has 4 million people. Right? So we got some places, I think, in the US that are just kind of remote as fuck like that. Which is interesting. It is interesting. And the reason nobody lives in Oklahoma is because it's nestled in this place that we here in the US like to call Tornado Alley. And it is where the most tornadoes happen every year. So a lot of people reasonably are like, no, thank you. I'm not going to live there. But then a bunch of indigenous people were forced onto reservations over there because of the Trail of Tears. So most of the people that do live there are indigenous peoples. I think it's like a good chunk of Oklahoma is reservation. So they were effectively put into a literal like kitty litter box to try and make a life, you know. So it's a weird place to be. But yeah, for context, I mean, Denver has the same population size as Vancouver, British Columbia. And we're considered like a small major city. Los Angeles, California, as of this year, had 4 million residents. Although the entirety of Los Angeles County, including its burbs, the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area contains 13 million people. Insane. So I am excited to go somewhere that's like, I mean, is effectively the same size as what we're dealing with here in Denver, but significantly less freaky people. Still some freaky people. You can't get away from all freaky people, you know what I'm saying? Little freaks are going to be everywhere. But yeah, paying fucking $500,000 for a home is crazy. And I recognize Vancouver is still going to have that issue because it's LA, but in LA the average cost of homes is like $2 million. You know, it's fucking insane. It's insane. So I'm very excited to get the fuck out of there. Yeah, so if you can imagine, Cal, like, so sure, Ontario has a population of 16 million people, but like the entire population of the whole province of Quebec is smaller than the city of Los Angeles, which is insane. The population of Manitoba is less than the entire population of the Denver metro area by half. The Denver metro area is just slightly less populous than the entirety of Alberta, Canada. Yeah, Alberta has around 5 million people. The Denver metro area sits at around 3 million people. Like, it's high-key fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. And then you got really weird states again, like Oklahoma, that have literally like one person in them. You know, it's like, it's just kind of weird. But America, I think, is it's very populous, and there's too many people that live here that have too widely differing of ideas, you know? So I feel like at least with like, and you can do this a little bit with U.S. states too, where, you know, the people of Alberta, for example, have like a very specific vibe. You know, they have like, one, their own provincial laws, and then two, their own like values and ideas about how things should work. You know, which is why I'm not moving to Alberta. Right? I'm sure that they probably would not like me very much over in Alberta. And you can do that to some extent with U.S. states, but part of the problem is that because we can move so freely through U.S. states, that effectively people from all over the place that share dramatically different ideals are now all blending into the same area, which is where you get the issue that I'm running into, where my home state, which used to be relatively chill, we had like a big like neo Christo-fascist issue in like the 90s. It calmed down a little bit, and then effectively the KKK from everywhere else in the country moved to Colorado to start businesses, be entrepreneurs. A lot of them are like Silicon Valley millionaires or sometimes billionaires that will move here. And then it dramatically changes the state's overall vibe. So what used to be a bunch of hippies is now a bunch of racists, you know? And it's really hard. And obviously things were not perfect. Like I recognize that like Colorado used to be called the hate state. You know, that was like the nickname, the national nickname for the state. And things did get better for a little while. But people here, I think, are really, really bad at like adapting to new environments. Like, at least I can expect if I'm gonna go live in Vancouver, if I'm gonna be around mostly East Asian people, it's like I know what to expect. You know, I know how to be respectful in environments. I know that things are going to be kind of quiet. Like, it was really refreshing for me to see that on that Edo sushi style, like, or Edo period style sushi restaurant, that they had a policy on their website that the restaurant itself is a no phone zone. You can take out your phone to take photographs of the food. That's totally fine. But if you're speaking on your cell phone, if you're texting, if you're browsing the internet, they'll either ask you to take your phone and put it away, or they'll kick you out of the restaurant. You know? And it's like, that's, God bless, guys, actually. Like, I love that shit. You know, they want people to be present with the food. They want people to be happy and enjoying the experience. You're not allowed to talk too loudly. It's recommended that you don't wear significant amounts of cologne or perfume so that people can enjoy their food without having any kind of like smell interference with the food. And is that going to be everywhere? No. But I just wish I was there already. You know what I mean? Like, it's the waiting period of waiting to get to Canada that's slowly killing me. I'm just fucking tired. Oh, did I need to do this with this? Absolutely not. I gotta do this manually. I am a fool. I wish that I could just sit in my student meetings and just do art and not have to deal with this shit. That would be pretty cool, you know? I'm just very excited for the change of pace. I'm just really hoping. I still haven't gotten fucking rejection from that EA job yet, y'all. That shit's kind of crazy, actually. I keep waiting for the EA people to reject my application. And either one of two things is happening. Either one, I'm in the consideration process. Two, I got ghosted. But I think EA is pretty good about sending out, like, form rejections. And I know eventually I would end up getting laid off from that. That would be what would happen. That's the inevitability. But that would be an industry in. And then maybe I could get a job elsewhere. Look at that little man. What if I just don't go to the meeting? What if I tell that student that, like, sorry, I've abandoned you, and now you have to fucking figure it out on your own? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what if I just... What if I'm like, sorry, bro? I love how Saskatchewan has literally 1 million people in it. I'm still looking at that website. That is funny, though. Ah, to live in Nunavut and only have 40,000 people around you at any point in time. I imagine it gets pretty fucking cold up there. It's literally you and the polar bears. That is pretty crazy, though. The student, right? Well, I'm like, at that point, though, I'm like, I already told you to go to tutoring. You know what I mean? I'm like, I already told you what to do. You silly Billy. Like, to some extent, I do think that students need to learn that it's like, you have to take initiative for your own education. You know, you can't just wait until somebody holds your hand through the whole thing, because otherwise you're going to end up in a position where you get left behind, I guess. I'm considering it. I got 6 weeks left of this job, and I'm going to be moving while doing this job. I'm, like, scared. All I gotta say. Yeah, it's only funny. It's because Daz updated. Have you used the 6.0 version of Daz yet? Look at it. The lips are so glossy. They updated the materials, and so now they're like terrifying. Terrifying. And like part of me is like, wow, the lighting looks a lot better and I can actually see things more clearly, which is great. But then also like, why the fuck they look like that? So I thought that was pretty funny. What do you mean you didn't want just the most uwu face of all time? Y'all, I'm thinking about it. And I don't want to be an ass. But also, too, I recognize I'm having a mental health crisis. And if dealing with this student is stressing me out this bad, I'm like, is it worth it? Gosh, he's pretty, though. I know what I did. I know what I did. I feel no shame. I know what I've done. Like, I'm just, like, actively dissociating thinking about it. Let's sigh. Cal, you know what this means, though, don't you? I have to go, and we need to meet up, and we need to go to somewhere. I'm gonna go over to Nova Scotia so that I can go swim in the freezing-ass ocean. Oh, funny story about how Discord had installed 18 updates? Sweet lord. I closed Discord because, I don't know, it's just that's what happened. Oh yeah, I closed it to do the CC clean. Oh god, there's so many people messaging me. Jesus Christ. Oh no! Oh Cal, oh god, I just got jump scared. Holy shit. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, at least he's got nice eyebrows. You know? Are you scared of good eyebrows? Good, weirdly sparse eyebrows? What do you mean? He's horrifying, though. It's a mood. I think that there are less animation or like model errors that happen, which is great, but like also why they look like that? Yeah, I don't know what the children look like, you know what I mean? I'm still I still don't know. I haven't tested out a kid model in the new version of Daz yet, and I'm low-key afraid. Uh-oh, a disaster. Uh-oh. I'm ready to be traumatized. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me finish this thing. Oh, man. What if I just was late? What if I was just late to the meeting? I don't wanna. Yo, I'm done. Cal, you gotta send me the horrors that you've seen. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Oh! Oh! Wow. I mean, that would be what would happen to me, I think, if I was loaded inside another person. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, low-key horrifying, not gonna lie. Alright. Yeah, that's a lot. That was me when I woke up this morning. I feel it. This is what I get for closing the Discord. Somebody just jumped in there and definitely is a bot. Damn bots. Or a scammer at the very minimum. Okay, cool. Mr. Man just jumped onto my leggerts. He says, hello, you should not also do your office hour meetings with this student. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Mr. Man, you're 100% right. You know. He knows what's up. Yeah, sorry. I had to do a Insta ban. Man, the Gen Chat's popping off. I don't got time to look at this. Holy shit. Holy shit. I need to get out of there. I'm trapped. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to, unfortunately, go and be a responsible adult. Gross. I don't wanna, but I'm gonna. So I got through most of it. That's really all that matters, you know what I'm saying? At least there's that. I got one more panel to do. And I'll take it. So I'm gonna go cringe and go and do these this office hours. Otherwise, I might just try and finish this stream while I'm sitting in office hours waiting for people. But yeah, overall, I'm just going to go. So, thank you so much for being cool. I appreciate you all. I will see you on Monday, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.